I love oranges. I love oranges so much that I can eat them every single day of my life. In fact, I am a slut for orange. Maybe too much. But yeah, I love oranges, and I was just messing around in my blender and I thought, like, why not make an orange in blender? And I was just messing around and I came up with a pretty simple way to make an orange. Today I'm gonna tell you how to do it, because there are not a lot of organic tutorials about food and stuff like that which are really organic. So that's why I thought that it would be a great idea for me to make a video about it. So here we are in blender. Right now we can see there's an orange here that I modeled. By the way, if you want to model this, you can click on the video in the card or maybe in the description, but I have made it. It is pretty simple. You can easily do it. Alright, so right now I'm gonna tell you how to do the textures of it. You can watch the other video for the modeling. So here is the orange. So to make an orange, there are a few things you need to do. First of all is the color. Obviously, the color of orange. And mixing all the colors, because some oranges are different than other oranges. For example, the kind of orange that I eat that is really common here where I live is this kind of orange. So that's what I'm trying to make here. Plus it would be a really great practice to do all kinds of colors. So yeah, so the first thing is colors and mixing all the colors. And then we would do color pigments. If you don't know, then there are some color pigments in orange or really any kind of fruit. So we are going to replicate that in that. And the third thing is bump. Okay, so obviously if you would know that orange is really bumpy, right? Few of the bumps are really big and some of them are really small. So the really big ones we are going to do in modeling, and the small ones we are going to do it in this materials, like, you know, textures. Okay, so these three things. And the fourth thing is the dents or the scars. If you've seen an orange, obviously you have, or maybe not, but if you've seen an orange, there are some kind of like scars in that orange, some kind of like brownish, like dents or scars. So we are going to replicate that as well. Alright, so here we are, and we are going to obviously mix them. So here we are in Blender, and I've already made it so that it is really easy for you to follow. You can just copy it, but I'm gonna explain it as well. Alright, so this is the main principle, BSDF. Alright, so this is the color and mixing thing. What we are doing here is making a noise texture. You can copy this, but basically what we are trying to do is experiment with these values and then put it in this color ramp. So what it will do is it will just take the black and white of this noise texture and place all these colors on that, and then we are going to mix it, but you can forget it for right now. So that's what we are going to do and put it in this. So we got this. All right, and so the next thing is placeholder. Okay, for color pigments. As you can see, these small, really small color pigments, what we did is took this noise textures and really scaled it up so that it is really small, and then put it on color pigment, color ramp, so that we can, you know, make it more contrasty, as you can see. And then we mixed it with the color, because we are going to put it in base color. So and put it in the factor of it, and this is the second color that it is showing here. So we can change it to other kind of color, but as you can see that we are taking this as a factor to mix the main color and the pigment color. So this is the base color. So for the color, this is that. So it is already looking more like an orange, and you can obviously like experiment with this change the scale, and it is really up to you, whatever you want to do. So the second thing is bump, right? I mean the third thing. So the bump is really very, very obvious. Again, we are taking the noise texture and we are experimenting with it, and then we are putting it in bump node and then putting it in normal. So we can change the strength, but the strength that I chose was this much, right? So, and obviously you can mess around with this or just copy the values that I have. All right. Okay, and the next thing, the third thing, is dent and scar, and it really looks like it is complicated, but it is probably not. What we are doing is taking principled BSDF, because we are trying to put it as a different shader, right? So we are putting it a different principled BSDF, and then we only need to care about two things here, which is base color and bump, right? So what we're doing is like taking the noise texture. Noise texture is the name of the game here. I have used most of the texture that I have used, procedural texture, is noise texture. And so we have taken the noise texture, and as you can see, if I click on this, you can see this is the kind of noise texture I have. And what I did here is to make them like really, really tight, so that we have this kind of color, right? So obviously this would look like it is like the dents or scars that I was talking about. So that's that. So yeah. So now what we did was that we actually connected all this, and obviously we have put it through the mapping and texture coordinates so that we can easily change the scale of it to make it more according to our liking. So we did that, and then obviously put it on bump node, and then this thing we mixed it with this principled BSDF. So after doing that and connecting it to the surface, like a material output, wait, it is actually opposite. Yeah. After doing all of that, we got this, right? As you can see, you may have seen these kind of dents in oranges, all right? Or maybe you haven't, but anyway. So this is this, and now we can actually do this as well. This is this thing, this pole, whatever it is called, I'm gonna call it pole. So this thing is really like a simple thing. I haven't done a really complicated thing in this. What I did was like took the principled BSDF and again took the noise texture, made some kind of noise in it, and then connected to the color so that we can get that yellowish white kind of color, which is kind of what it is. I'm sure that it doesn't look really realistic, but it is still looking all right for the kind of thing that we want to do. Our focus is on this color, all right? And then obviously took this bump node, and this time we took Voronoi texture, because if you know, oranges have those kind of like fibers or something like that. I don't know what it is called, but it is kind of like a fiber. So that's how I did this Voronoi texture. That's why I did this Voronoi texture, so it doesn't look like really noisy, like the noise type thing. So that's why I did this, so that it looks like this. And obviously if you want to, you can just take my setting and just put it accordingly, and then we got an orange. Really simple, right? And again, the model thing, you can click on the video and you can see how it is made. So if you go to like render mode and then render it with lights and stuff, you can come up with this. Pretty simple, right? So thank you for watching, and I really hope you learned something from it. I really like to make these kind of videos for you, and I hope you see the next videos as well. I'm gonna be covering a lot of videos in the future.